What's up, everybody? It's me, Kev, signing on to talk about the debacle at the Garden last night against the Cleveland Cavaliers. You know, those marvelous 12-win Cleveland Cavaliers, the ones who have 3 of those wins against the Knicks and who can't lose to the Knicks no matter who's playing for them. I mean, 12 straight wins against the Knicks overall and 3 straight this year. Last night's game was a tough one to take on many levels. The fact that, obviously, since Melo got here, the Knicks are now 3-3. 2 of those losses came to the worst team in the NBA. And three of their wins, 3 of their 12 wins, or 25% for you math majors out there, came against the New York Knicks, came at the expense of the New York Knicks. I'll get started on Antony, because we all know he don't coach no D. I'll get started on him later on in this entry. But as far as the game itself, I mean, first of all, the Cavaliers didn't even have Antoine Jameson. They didn't even have their best player for the game. He's out for the season with a broken, pinky or thumb, something like that. Some broken finger on him. He's out for the year. So keep that in mind. They didn't have him, right? They didn't have Antoine Jameson. I mean, they obviously still don't have Varejao. And these are the 12-win Cleveland Cavaliers. And these are the same guys who beat us last week, which led to a whole bunch of talk after the game how this can't happen, blah, blah, blah. We can't do this. We can't lose to these guys, blah, blah, blah. Carmelo was talking before the game about revenge and payback against a 12-win team. Yeah, I know. It sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? Shouldn't you be concerned about bigger fish? You're talking about payback against a 12-win team. 12-win team. The Cavaliers have been eliminated from playoff contention since LeBron said, "I'm taking my talents to South Beach," and that's who you're worried about. But since Melo actually did play well last night, he did go 10 for 16. He did score 29 points. I'm not going to get at him too much. But half the Cavaliers team I've never even heard of. Samardo Samuels, who? 15.7 boards. Christian Iyenga, again, who? 5 for 7 from the field, 3 for 3 from 3. I've heard of J.J. Hickson, but he ain't even all that good. And yet the Knicks consistently make this guy look like Charles Barkley every single time they play. It never fails. I know Amari can't rebound. I know Amari can't play D. And I know the rest of the Knicks front court can't play D. Obviously, as evidenced by Jared Jeffries starting at center. Brilliant strategy right there. Brilliant. Mr. Intangible, Mr. I can do nothing that actually shows up in the score sheet. Jared Jeffries, that guy. Luke Harangody, however you pronounce that dude's name. He had 18 points. Luke Harangody, who is that? Who are you talking about right? Who are we talking about right now? Luke Harangody? Who? I watch and follow basketball as religiously as somebody can, and I still haven't heard half these dudes. And yet, after all that talk before the game about payback and how we need to change and how we need to do this, they came into the Garden on a Friday night after the Knicks had a nice win against New Orleans Wednesday night, and they put up 119 points. Let's put that in perspective. Cleveland for the year averages 96 points a game. That's 25th in the league. The last 2 games against the Knicks, they've scored 115 and 119, respectively. Last night they scored 119 points. They shot 57% from 3 and 50 from the field. And this is the worst team. They're 12 and 49, people. 12 and 49. 12 and 49. And these are the guys who the Knicks let run them ragged in their own building, in the famed Madison Square Garden. Something needs to be done about the coaching. So they need to either give D'Antoni a defensive coordinator, they need to fire his ass altogether. Because it's just, the Knicks consistently, and I'm hearing excuses about how they haven't played together. And no matter who's been on the court for the Knicks the last 3 years, and the last 2 years I'm not too concerned about because God knows those rosters were terrible. And he should be given a chance with better players. But no matter who's on the floor for the Knicks, no matter how long they've played together, on defense, the Knicks look like a bunch of strangers. They look like they've never even played a single minute of basketball together all the time. And the Knicks can't defend the pick and roll. look, I understand the Knicks don't have the best individual defenders in the league. I understand that. I understand Melo, he has his moments, but for the most part, he doesn't play all that hard on defense. I understand Amari has his serious deficiencies on defense. I understand Fields is not the best man defender in the league either. But all of these guys are competent enough where you should be able to at least muster up an above league average defense. Period. And yet the Knicks consistently watch garbage like Cleveland throw up 119 points. They consistently make garbage like Baron Davis look like all pros. They consistently make mediocre players like J.J. Hickson look like Charles Barkley. They consistently do it. And it drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. For all the excuses about familiarity, how much does it really take to defend a pick and roll, especially against a garbage team? Orlando kills for pick and roll, fine. They're one of the best teams in the NBA. That's different. That's a different case. But the Knicks obviously made no adjustments. That starts with the coaching. They made no adjustments, and the Cleveland came in and ran them ragged again. And then to top it all off, on the last Cleveland possession of the game, where Baron Davis hit the three, you're down 1 point, and Jared Jeffries is going over a screen. Why? The three is the only thing that could kill you in that scenario, because then you're down 2 possessions. And Baron Davis had 10 feet. Look, Baron Davis is a bad basketball player. I don't care who wants to tell me otherwise. Look at his basketball card. Don't believe the hype. Dude's a bad basketball player. I don't care about that. You can't give the guy 15 feet. You could have fit 3 Oprah Winfreys in the space that Baron Davis had to shoot that ball. Come on, man. You got to do better than that. You got to do better than that. It's simple elementary basketball. If he drives past you, if you go over the screen, he drives past you, fine. He's supposed to do that. He's a point guard. He's way quicker than you anyway. And if he gets 2 points, you're still breathing. You're down 3 points. Instead, you give him 10 yards to shoot the ball, and he nails a 30, and then you're down 4 with 10 seconds left. What kind of defense is that? I'm tired of questioning the defense. All I want to see is a competent defensive team. I don't want to see a bunch of dudes who look like they've never played basketball together in their lives. I don't want to see a consistent switching on pick and rolls. Look, you can't go over every screen. I understand that. And you have to have players on the court that make it comfortable enough to switch on pick and rolls. But at the same time, if I see Amari Stoudemire covering a point guard one more time, I'm going to rip all the remaining 10 hairs in my head right out. Seriously. The switching gets old, and then the straight lack of defense gets old. I mean, these dudes shot 57% from 3 last night. Baron Davis went nuts. And went nuts for him is still 40% from the field. He's garbage. And he went crazy for him by his standards. Look, is it the worst loss in the world? No. But just losing to these dudes 3 times, and then it's not even like they lost the second game to these guys 2 months ago. They lost them last week, and they didn't make a single adjustment. Not a single adjustment. Melo and Amari went for 70 points combined, and they still lost. They still lost the game to the Cleveland Cavaliers, the 12-49 Cavaliers. The 12-49 Cavaliers. Just put that. Knicks fans, all you Knicks fans who have those delusions of grandeur that the Knicks are going to somehow make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, put this game, put all the numbers I just gave you in your pipe and smoke it. That's all for me. I'm done.